Yes, we are recording now, and I'm actually here with Called to Flag. Their name are David and Claire, and I actually found them on social media, first on Facebook, and there I actually kind of stalked them, and I saw all their videos, I saw their dancing, and I was so moved and touched because I saw they had this mix of, very innocent, pure worship in their movement with flag and everything, and in their expression. But then also in the same time, I saw, the prayer warrior, the declaration, the opening up of the heavens and the presence, and I could feel that in the video. So I was really touched by them, and I signed up for their newsletter, followed them for a while, and then I contacted them and asked them for an interview, and here they are. So I'm super thankful that you want to join me today. And so do you guys want to share about, how did your life look like before you started with this?
Go ahead.
How do we start with the flag?
What was life like before we started flagging?
Okay, the life before that was kind of, you go to church, right? And I was pretty shy at the time. And from, I guess, my first how many years of work with God, I was always very shy. And so when I go to church, I love Jesus, I love God, and I felt like there's fire burning inside of me. But when I am in the church, I was always shy, and doing the worship, I couldn't even put my hand out to worship God, and I felt like I was such a hypocrite because I'm burning inside, but my outside is cold and, it's close, and I don't want to show my emotion. And so every week after church, I will just go home and really disappointed at myself because I felt like what I'm showing people is not what truly I am inside. And yeah, it was a struggle, big struggle. You?
Yeah, I was the same. Go to church, I don't even have the courage to lift up my hands when everybody else is lifting up the hands. So I was like the weird one who wouldn't lift up the hand, even though on the inside I was lifting up my hands. But yeah, very, very, very shy. And,
wow. Could you guys see yourself like when you were standing there and had this like battle or this struggle? Like, did you envision yourself that I want to do it? Like,
yeah. It took me a couple years actually.
Yeah.
To even get to that point.
Yeah.
So a lot of that struggle was internal. Obviously the lie was dropped to me at a very, very, very young age. And then that was it. I don't think I have the devil constantly whispering in my head, you're no good, you can't do this. It was more me. It was my own talk. And maybe once in a while the devil would come, you shouldn't do it. Maybe next time. But most of it was in my head. It was a major battle in my mind. Mm-hmm.
So what was it that changed then, since you suddenly from being shy and not feeling like a hypocrite and you just couldn't express yourself and even just like not lift your hands, like what changed so that you went into that?
I think it's just the grace of God, right? After my first daughter was born, and she was turning 1 year old, and she was still in my arm all the time doing the church and worship, and she would always follow my friend, my best friend. Sometimes she was touring around the church with a flag, and her eyes will always follow her. So when she was about to turn 1 year old, I asked God, what can I do for her, right? And I felt like Holy Spirit said to me, make her a flag. And so it's kind of like a set up from God. I went to a fabric store, and it was like buying 1 meter, you get 3 meters for free. And so I ended up with this long piece of fabrics, 4 meters long. But the baby flag was just so small, like this size, right? I don't need a big, huge flag. So I ended up with this big piece of fabric. So I decided to make myself a flag too. And so at that time, I didn't even thinking about sewing or anything. I just buy a stick and I put a double-sided tape and I glue a fabric on there and I burn the edge of the fabric. And that's how I started to just playing with her. And I think few weeks after her birthday, there was two ladies came to my church to promoting flag. So what a coincidence, right? So they come and they're promoting the flag, and that was so they are actually, having a class for open for like 6 months, and that was the first time I stepped out my comfort zone to go to talk to a stranger. Now, can I go to your class? And so it was a big breakthrough for me. And after that, like I will bring my flag to the church. I will wave my flag, and my pastor was just so excited for me. And I remember first time I flag in the church, my pastor come running to me and start to pray over me, prophesy over me about what I'm going to do in the future. I was like, wrong person. But I'm very, I believe in that, the grace of God that give me so much. Like he knows my heart. I don't even fully know it, but he knows my disappointment inside of me, and he guides me through this journey. And even being the church, being very safe. The pastor are so, excited for me about my flagging that just give me so much room to grow. Yeah, I think that's it for me. And you?
Well, when I started flagging, Claire started flagging at church, and I watched her, and I wanted to flag right away, but there's no way I would have picked up those girly-looking flags and flag in front of everybody. But I would film them, and I was in the back of the church always filming them while worship was going on. So, and I guess that's when I started liking flags. And then when Claire went to that flagging class for 6 months or so, whenever she would go, I would actually go down into our basement, and then I would stand there and start flagging. I didn't know how to flag or anything, but as I started moving, I was like, I can do this. And it got lots of fun. And I started moving around, and the Holy Spirit would teach me how to move. And then for 2 years? Around 2 years, Claire had no idea I knew how to flag at all. I kept it that much of a secret. I couldn't even tell my own wife that I can flag. So it's kind of funny how I was trained.
That is pretty funny.
Yeah, I call myself a closet flagger. So yeah, I came out of the closet 2 years after teaching myself how to flag.
And I remember I would flag, and then David would say, "Oh, how about doing this and doing that?" And I was like, "What do you know? You don't even flag. Don't tell me how to flag."
So David, how did you when you were in your secret, training yourself, what did you talk to God about? What did he showed you?
Not much. It was more of a feeling. I know he was talking to me, but at that point I didn't really know how to hear his voice while like moving around and dancing, but I could feel him. I could hear him. Yeah.
What made it that you kept it a secret?
Just fear of man, fear of what they think. Just really. Well, now I look back and think how stupid that was. But that was my journey then. So, am I completely free of fear? No, I'm getting close, but it's still a journey.
I think everyone are on that journey.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you react when he suddenly jumped up and shared this, Claire?
Oh, I remember when he first time flag in the public.
That was how many years ago?
Maybe 5 or 6.
5 or 6 years ago. Our church was doing a short-term missions trip, and I remember we had the group prayer before we were heading off into the field, and I just asked everyone to lay their hands on me and say, like, I need to change. I didn't know it was about flagging, but I said, something has to change. I got to change.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went on the mission trip. We brought our flags, but we weren't there to flag. We just brought our flags because it's just, that's what Claire does. Because she still has no idea that I actually know how to flag.
Yeah.
So Claire was flagging during the missions trip at a local church, and then everybody got interested, and a lot of people wanted to learn how to flag. So we did an impromptu class. Well, Claire did an impromptu class, and a bunch of the girls helped her.
Mm-hmm.
And then actually a bunch of guys from that local church came to learn how to flag.
Mm-hmm.
And then Claire was doing her moves. Of course, Claire is a girl, and she moves like a girl. As nice as it is, it's feminine. And the guys picked up the flags, and they started moving like females. And I think something inside me just snapped. I said, that's enough. And then I actually picked up some flags, and I started teaching the guys. I've never taught anyone ever how to flag, but don't move like that, move like this.
Yeah, and I remember.
Do this, don't do that. And then,
yeah, the whole team was like, who is him? What? We got a ninja here, what we didn't know. That was my whole team, but my pastor is like, wow, you are like a flagging ninja or something. Yeah, so that was the first time.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So what did you think about his dance when you first saw him, Claire?
I love it. It's seeing a husband fully free. I mean, not fully free, but freer to worship God. I know he always loved God, and just excited for him, right? And to be able to just be okay to move in front of people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. So what made you kind of, so, you started, really shy, then you started break into it and started to go for it. And what made you start Call to Flag?
Call to Flag, when we actually started Call to Flag, well, we never really thinking about getting to a flagging ministry. It was never our plan. And I remember it was just, I guess you want to share that one, like your story about waking up?
Yeah, I guess 5 years ago now, 6 years ago.
Yeah.
I guess that weeks prior to this, I was looking online to find a guy that can flag on YouTube. And I found one guy, AJ Salazar. We're now friends, and he inspired me. But he dances the way he dances. I can't dance the way he dances, but he did inspire me. And then I look, and there was nothing. There were other guys, but they were trained by women. No offense against women. I love them. I empower them. But these guys just flag with a little bit of testosterone. But, lots of guys flagging them, pointing toes. But there's a time and place to point toes, but please don't do it when you're flagging. but things like that. And then weeks went by. And then a couple of weeks later, I guess it was a Saturday morning, I woke up. And then I guess I was a realtor at the time. And then when I had a dry season, like somebody turned off the taps. Like I couldn't sell anything if something just flew in front of my eyes. And it was, I couldn't sell anything. And then now I see that God was trying to woo me into something else. But I woke up, I was thinking about this bill, that bill. Is there money in this account? Is there money in that account? Then all of a sudden I could just feel God's peace rush over me. And then I had all these ideas come into my head, kind of like a Matrix moment. Everything was downloaded in me. And then I saw me in our garage. Our garage actually has it's a glass garage. And then I saw the setup, what I was supposed to do, which camera I was supposed to use, which flags I was supposed to use. So I went into the garage and did a demo video. Mm-hmm. And then I was just rushing in and out of the house, and Claire's looking at me, going, what is going on? What is he doing in the garage? But I was just setting things up for a video shoot, which I've never done a video like that before in my life, but I just seemed to know what to do. And then I did the test video, threw it on the computer, showed Claire, and said, you need dance to this because I got to film this. And
Yeah.
that's when we uploaded our first video.
Yeah. So,
Not my video, but the video of Claire. So
Yeah.
I guess that'll be the second video I ever made.
Yeah, then we put on the social media, and then we start people asking us about where did you get your flag? And I was like, I made my own flag. It was like, can you sell me your flag? Can I buy flag from you? I said, no, I don't make flag. And then people just like, please sell your flag to me, right? And when I first started dance, David told me, say, don't ever turn this thing to a business, okay? Because he knows there's business side of me. I can turn anything into business. And I said, okay, I'm not going to do that. And so I remember people would beg me, and I was like, okay, fine, because my kids were so young and I have a lot of time. So people will pay me money. I'll go to fabric store to get fabric, and I will make them flag and ship it out to them. And then one day I heard the teacher the lady who I have the courage to tell her, can I come to your class? That lady, her name is Helen. And so I heard Helen is very busy with her street ministry, and then she don't have time for her flagging anymore. She's trying to sell her flags to people, and she will try to get rid of her stock. So since Debbie didn't want me to sell flags, so I called my friend and said, hey, I sent her email. I said, hey, can I help you to sell your flag? Because, inside of me, it's like my husband didn't want me to make flag, right? And then she said to me, oh, Claire, she said that guy has been telling her for 6 months to get everything to me. And see, we don't go to the same church, so we don't actually talk to each other. And then she's just like, God has been asking me for 6 months to give you everything that I have, all the fabric stock. And I was just in so much shock, right? And then she said to me, can you come and pick it up, everything tomorrow? So I remember we drive our van to her house, and it was packed of the fabric rolls and, shreds and towels.
Yeah, we thought she just had some fabric to give you, like something you throw in the back of the trunk of a car. But when we got there, we were just overwhelmed. It was reams upon reams of fabric, and it literally, we had a fairly sized, like a decent sized van. We had to drop all the seats and fill it right up. We had like maybe this much space left on the top of the van.
Yeah.
And good thing she lives like 10 minutes away, because I don't know if we could have driven much further. There was so much stuff, fabric. And then it was funny. And then when we got there, she basically said, here's my mantle on flagging. I give it to you.
Yeah.
I know you guys can do things that I can never do, like social media and filming, all that kind of stuff. We're trained to do that kind of stuff because of my real estate background and Claire's schooling background.
Yeah.
So she saw that. And then, on that day, I think we had how many likes on our page?
I don't remember. That was
not many. We had maybe 200, and we were like, wow, 200. On that exact day, within an hour, literally, it'll be 100 more, 100 more, 200 more, 300 more. Then we just shot up like the space shuttle on that day when she gave us all her material. It was like, here you go. Here's the baton.
Yeah.
Keep going.
And I remember that was the day that I finally start to create. Before, people told me what they want, and I went to a fabric store, I buy it, and I'm making it. And since I have so much fabric in my house, and I finally able to create, the flag that I like. Yeah. And that's when we start code to flag. We didn't try.
Yeah, and then I think, while everything was happening, real estate all of a sudden got busy again for me. So, but then Claire got so busy to the point where I had to help her. I didn't even know how to sew. So I said, I can help. And then Claire says, can you do edging? And probably. And then I tried it, and I said, I can do this.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that I'm actually really good at sewing, which is kind of funny. And then we got so busy that I guess within 6 months or a year, I just retired from real estate. My heart just wasn't in it anymore. And so just like that.
I love that. I love just from the beginning till you started, just it was this, this fear of man and this weakness inside of you, and you had this God encounter, how you started the worship dance, how you met people, how you picked up the flag. It was just even the vision you got from God, about just seeing things, just his direction all the time. I know most entrepreneurs, they have like, oh, you want to start a business, write out the plan and everything. But I love to hear when just God interrupt and come into your life like that. So as you started the business ministry, what was it like, all being like it's been a great journey, or has there been like obstacles or battles that you have faced?
Obstacles or battles, we're still growing. I think past 5 years we've only hit the tip of the iceberg. Because before we started, there was flagging, but it was maybe a blip on the screen of the internet, and right now it's a tiny big blip. It's a little bit bigger because it's just starting to get popular, I think, because of Redding and Bethel and Sarah and our friendship with Sarah and Ann Mack. And I think we're just at the beginning stages of whatever flagging is starting to be like. But I guess the biggest obstacle for me was, I guess I would have to say theology of the way flags used to be taught. That was the biggest thing that bothered me, like to the ends of the earth. It bothered me that bad, because I went to Bible college, and then we're always taught not to grab a verse, slap it in somewhere, and then take off with it without context or anything. And that bothered me so much, how flag teachers would grab a verse, his banner over me is love, and they say it's a worship flag. You gotta be kidding me. Absolutely gotta be kidding me, right? And when you challenge them with that, they don't even really know how to answer except throw more Bible verses at you. And if you ask them to explain it, they just can't. It's kind of funny, comical.
Yeah.
But the people who are so hungry out there, who want to get into flagging, they say, because that person put it on video and then they threw in a couple Bible verses and they explained it. Well, they didn't explain it well, but then they believe it, and then they teach more people bad theology, and it just turns out to be a big old mess.
Yeah.
So in a way, we're just trying to show people how to worship.
Yeah, I think
decent theology.
Yeah, I think for the first probably 2 years, if you go back to when we first started, for 2 years time, we didn't say anything, about flagging. We just make videos, because I think for the first 2 years, we are like have a lot of struggle about the old teaching, and I told God, say, you know what, I don't want that. I don't want that teaching, even though I don't understand what flag fold is, but I just don't want that old thing. And for 2 years, and then at that time, the call to flag is starting, and we are also serving in a church. And call to flag start to get so busy. Church start to get so busy. We have big role to play in the church, and I was in the age of burning out. And so I remember my pastor begging me to take break from serving in the church, and I thought I was okay, but I was not okay. And finally, I took a week of break, and then a week turned into 2 weeks, turned into 3 months, and turned into I cannot go back to leadership anymore. And then it's also the same time to you have this something inside you not satisfied, and you don't know what that is. And then I remember my church sent me to this Father Heart ministry for a week of the teaching. And I remember I went to there with probably sleeping. I sleep so much doing the teaching because that's how tired I was. But I believe even in my sleep, God speak to me, right? And I remember God said to me, say, Claire, if you don't do anything for me anymore, I will forever love you. I will forever honor you in the way, just who you are. And I realized that I have taken on this identity as a church leader, and it was just such a struggle. And I remember after that whole week of just soaking in the Father's love, so much thing that He tell me, that He's give me the picture of how He's holding in my hand. He's going to take me through the world, just like a little girl. So I don't have to plan anything. And I remember after that week, I told God, say, I got it now. I want to train up sons and daughters. I don't want warriors. Even though so many times people, in the old teaching of flagging, they like to, because we're holding something in the hand, they like to call us warrior. But I told God, I said, you know what? I don't want to train up armies. I want to train up sons and daughters that really know how to take the kingdom. And I think that's how the big struggle that was. And even to this day, I think every struggle we go through this, so many things, little things that bothers me, right? But everything go back to the identity. Again, who am I? Mm-hmm. Why I'm fearful? Why God I'm angry? Because I'm angry because I'm fear. And why I'm fear? And it's because I don't know my identity, right? And you can have crazy voice in your head. You're going to say that's enemy talking to you, but most of the time, it's your identity has issues, and God is trying to speak to you. And so struggle still going on. I still have to facing a bad day. So angry. It's like, oh, what is this? Mm-hmm. But I know that only the identity can release our destiny. If we don't know who we are, how God sees us, we can never be free to worship Him. And more that we know who we are and who He is, we get more freer. It's not like, oh, my skill just gets better. No, it was identity. Mm-hmm. And that's how we release our testimony and our identity through the movement that we're making, right? And so it just go deeper. And I know it's going to get better.
Oh my God, there were so much good things that you said in that answer, and there are a few things I want to dive deeper into. When it comes to, because most people would take their identity, even as a worship dancer or as a preacher or as a prophet, whatever it is. How did you manage to break free from that?
How do you break free?
Well, just to be known, to be labeled as a flagger. Oh, I think having a hobby is a good thing. So, yeah, something that you can do where you don't even have to think about who you do as a living. Yeah. So that helps me. I like flying drones, so that's my newest hobby.
I think having good friends around you too.
Yeah, good friends.
They see you as who you are. You are Claire. You're not flagger, or you are not, someone on social media. Mm-hmm. You actually have good friends that surrounded you, and you do life together. And they have freedom to tell you, say, I don't like, what you do there. I don't like what you say there. Be just real, and knowing that your identity is not rocking with people that you don't know. People can say mean things in computer, right? But that's not who you are. And that that people around you love you, and
yeah, we're surrounded by a lot of good people. Like our pastors, they don't see something that they like, they'll challenge us.
Yeah,
because you'll see our Pastor Pam. She always shows up on Tuesday Night Live and just prophesies over people, and it's fun. And like even with her husband Elf, he's the head pastor of our church. Like tomorrow, I'll be helping him pick up 100 chairs. Mm-hmm. So and we talk, and we have lots of friends on the worship team and friends before we were flaggers. Mm-hmm. They'll put us in our place, but I don't think we'd really change.
Yeah, no.
Except get more comfortable in front of cameras. That's, I guess. Yeah.
That is so good. I think most people struggle actually with exactly what we're talking about here, just daring to be who they are, as a person, and not because they have this, they want to find their group of like, oh, I'm this, or I'm this, or I'm this, or I'm this, but so in your teaching, when you teach about flags and worship, do you teach about, because you talk about the old like way of teaching flag, what is it that you are teaching to your group of people?
Mainly identity.
Yeah.
Like just to know that you're a son of God, not in your head but in your heart, and to act like it. And to a lot of the things that we find, which is becoming less and less, is that people put too much power in the flag. Like, I need to wave this flag over to a certain situation, and then the flag will bring in the angel, scare off the blah 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 demons in the room. But if they knew their true identity, it's what's inside of me that scares everything off, not my flags.
The same power, right?
The same power that raised Jesus from the dead a couple of days ago lives in you.
That's the true power. It's not in the
That's
flag.
power. That's what we're trying to teach. Power is within. As sounds a little worldly and kind of spiritual, but the power really is within, and people haven't used it or acknowledged it or give Holy Spirit the honor where he's supposed to be. So.
And then when you know your identity too, like you dance differently, and those, whatever power that's inside of you, the testimony comes through the moment you dance, like the moment that you do. And that's, many our teaching, when we go to church, we worship God, we celebrate, and then we dance our identity. That's why when I dance, some people will come to me and then they say to me, oh, when you dance, God reminds me, when I see you, God reminds me the promise that he has for me. And I have one of the pastor couple, I remember when they first come to our church, they were burned out from other church. So they come to my church for recovery. And then, so she told me for the 6 months, she was so tired, and during the worship time, all she can do is watch me flag. And then she told God, that's my worship to you. And then now they are running amazing ministries, and, and by looking back, it's you go through those journey. You don't even know it, but God uses you. We pour anointing on you. And then, so when you're doing it, you will just enjoy his presence. God heals people through those, through your testimony that you were releasing. And I think that's what I want for people, not religion, but really coming to this place, having your identity and having a true relationship with God, and see what he can do through you. Not I'm trying to be this person, but see what he can do. And you can always surprise that what he can do, right?
Yeah. And then even we flag over people a lot now, and we see lots of freedom. We see healings. We see things like that. And we use our flags, but it wasn't the flags that healed them. It was Jesus.
Yeah.
Did flags, were they a part of it? Yeah, because we're flaggers. It was our instrument. Yeah, like we don't know what really happens when we wave the flags, even though people have theories, right?
Yeah.
The sounds, the crackling, the colors, it's just, we don't understand it, but there's something going on.
Yeah.
So we don't teach what's going on because we don't understand it. And I think people who say they understand what's going on, they don't really understand what's going on. It's a mystery what we do.
Yeah.
And it's fun.
Oh my God.
I'm putting a lid on God because I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But I do know what's going on. My spirit knows what's going on, but my body and my soul don't know. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah. But we see it over and over. I think mostly when people we fly over, most of them have encounter with God themselves. And that's more than anything that I can pray for them or I can prophesy over them. If God will say something and bring them onto a journey for like such short time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, they have that encounter that changed their life. And that's what we do, right? We want to provide that place for people to encounter God, and we know that God's heartland too. So He always show up, especially when people come in such hungry, spiritual, like people, I call that spiritual, like not from the church, they are outside the church. They are actually seeking something spiritual, and they are perfect because they are hungry for more, right? Sometimes you meet people, like even in the church, they're not hungry at all, and that's the issue. But when those people come from outside the church seeking for something spiritual, they are hungry and they are ready. Then we just have to provide that place and knowing that God is going to show up for them. And so we see over and over. That's like the most beautiful thing that you can see from people encounter God, and then the first thing around them will say, wow. Right? A lot of times they don't even have word to describe what happened. And I don't know what happened. I just,
That's fine. It's kind of like the videos we do, there's something happening. People feel it. But if you try to explain it, you just took away the mystery.
Yeah.
But they know something's happening. And we know that something's happening.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, this is so good to hear. I'm like, oh, I want to go and take a class now. Because it's true, as you say, like most people, so I never can say, that I've taken any, classes with flags or banners or anything. But I've heard people tell me different things if I have, done some flags or something. And I'm like, oh, okay. So they explain to me, the colors, the meanings and everything. But what you guys actually are saying, that we actually don't know what happened, then the Holy Spirit just came and moved, and He healed and He delivered and He came because you guys just...
we're just doing our thing.
You said yes. Basically said yes to be the instrument, as so it's just kind of
because we're trying to take religion out of flagging. So a lot of times you will hear us not use Bible verses unless it comes with dance. That's in the Bible. Worship's in the Bible. Instruments are in the Bible. We call our flags instruments. We don't call them swords because, well, they're not swords. I mean, I'll show you a picture of a sword because I have a sword at home. That's a sword. But in the Bible, it's more biblical to say your sword is your tongue. That brings life and death. Not your flags. They're not swords.
I think other thing, like since you talk about the color too, right? For what we take on that is like people are, turn their knowledge become a religion. That's what we don't like. And I was trained that way when I first started. And I was just so nervous when I'm going to flag. I will ask God, tell me which color to use. And then during the middle of worship, it's like, am I really seeing the right color here, right? And then a lot of time I would ask, when I get to know more about God, I would ask Him, so what color do I use? And a lot of times, like, what color do you want? Right? And I would say, what? Tell me what color. And then it's like, what color do you want? And then as I go through the journey with God, a lot of time, I think sometimes it's very sad, like, in the prayer meeting, some people will say, I see the people say, oh, I see this color, for example, blue color in my head, but I don't know what that means. And then someone would jump in and say, oh, that means revelation. It's the moment from the person asking question and this guy answer in few seconds, I have probably 20 different blue color go through my head. Each color represent different meaning to me. Now, biblical meaning, I believe, we don't have to try to speak God's language. There's a moment, right? Because you work with God, you can use those color, but I believe that we don't have to try to use color to speak Bible language, because we walk through the journey of our life. Color will bring us different memory and good, it reminds you different moments that you have with God. The blue can mean healing, can mean Holy Spirit, can mean overflowing, can means revelation, can means life. There's so many meaning with different color now going through my head, right? And we are sad to see people turn this Bible color chart into what they do. We're supposed to have a relationship with God. When we see something, we should able to, have freedom for that, right? And not in such a structure. And I think one of the thing that we experienced in the last few years is like you're not allowed to use flag in the church. And I remember when we first flagging with black color, there's a lot of people are really upset with us, right? But I think again, all color belong to God. Why I want to give the black to the devil? I don't get it, right? And black is such powerful. You have such powerful statements, hold such authority and mystery. And it's like, why I want to give black to the devil, right? And but it's the religion that people learn, or the knowledge they took from somewhere. They turn that into a religion about you cannot do that.
Right, what is right, what is wrong. And it's funny how, not anymore, because we kind of blew that theology out of the water. We use black all the time, all the time. It's one of my favorite colors. Because I would say to the Christian ones, those super smart Christian ones, well, black's no good, then why is white good? Ku Klux Klan, white.
And red.
Red is good. It's like, no, red's not good. Let's talk about Satan worship. They use red. It's like, come on, let's not be so ignorant, people. Black is good. Black is everywhere. Black is on my head. And when Jesus made me, God made me, he said it was good.
Perfect.
That's really good. So you kind of are on a mission to break the religious mindset.
Not really. We just want to be us. And right now, that's part of it. It's like, you say one thing, we say another.
We want more freedom from people, and really wanted to have a relationship, knowing that, there's nothing you can do that's going to offend God. You're not going to pick up black color, he's going to get so angry at you. No, he's not that kind of father to us. And we want people to have freedom, and knowing that trusting your relationship with God, not this.
And we believe there's lots of power in color. Absolutely. That's why so many people used to be afraid of black. That's a very powerful color.
I love that. There's nothing you can do that will offend God. I love that. So as other people are watching and thinking, I feel like I want to move, or I feel like I want to dance, or I feel like I want to do some flagging, but they are maybe in a church where it's not accepted, or a different community, or they're alone, or, the different walks of life. What is something that the two of you can say to them, as a married couple, as a man and as a woman, where they are right now?
Well, for me, if you can't flag at church, flag at home. Go flag at a park. Practice in the closet like I did for 2 years until the time was right. If you have, I guess, the urge to do something with flags in your hand, go ahead. What's stopping you?
Don't let the church become, that's not a real issue, right? Because in a church, sometimes you have, it depends on the size of a church. Sometimes you have to go through so many layers of leadership. And, when you're not allowed to dance in the church, it's not a leadership fault, or it's not a pastor's issue. Sometimes they just have to be concerned about the stage they are right now in the church, the journey with God, right? So sometimes you will see the pastor once, but the leadership doesn't want it yet. It's just because everything have timing. And then you can just go out and find good friends to flag in the park.
And who's to say that you have to flag at Sunday morning worship time? The church is probably available and open Monday to Sunday, depending on the time. So do you need people to watch you to flag?
And then I think a lot of the time we have those people, not a lot of time. In the past, we do have people come to our church just because they our church is pretty free. But they were just coming to a church and then hugging a spot in the front. And then they actually don't really build this relationship with the people in the church. They just want to come to the church to flag. So that become an issue too, because our church actually is very free. People always moving around, and we take turns because we don't have a lot of space at the front of the church. We take turns, and a lot of time people go to the church. They will say, "I'm a flagger. This is what I can do."
Yeah, but that's part of the a lot of those, like that type of flagger. They don't have relationship in other churches. If they did, they'd be flagging at the church that they actually go to. So they come into this church, which is flag friendly, and try to take the stage saying, "I'm here to release the presence of God with my flags."
Or
like,
kick something.
Not on my watch, sorry. So, because I'm still on the leadership team, so I'm there to protect the people of the church.
Yeah.
I don't know you. So you're not going to flag up front. Bye-bye. Yeah. Go to the back. You can flag in the back.
And I think the best suggestion for people, like if you're a flagger, you're actually looking for a church that you can flag. Mm-hmm. Don't bring your flag. Go to the leadership and ask them, "I want to join your church. I want to build, if there's cell group I can go to, and is there anything I can do to help you grow your church?" Don't bring out, "Oh, I can do this and do that." Be a person that, I remember David had to mop the floor. I get it. Mop the floor for a few years.
Because no one would do it. So
and then wash the toilet, right? And in those things, it's like a family things, that stuff needs to get done. And you don't go to the church because you have this fancy flag. You go to the church, just bring a heart. I want this to be my family. What can I do to make my family better? And I think if you are coming from a place of serving, and you will get to the place much easier. And once people know you and know how your character, they will trust you what you do, right? And so, like my pastor, they are just like, "Claire, you can do anything, anytime, anything you want, right? When you feel you are fully rest, just do anything that you want." And that's that kind of trust, is what we want. It's not on a Sunday, 30 minutes or an hour, feeling like, "Oh, I'm releasing something." No, it's not that. It's really the relationship, the community that you are belonging to. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I love that, your whole story about the God encounter. He is the one, to be glorified, and he's the one that have built things up in your own life, and also that you share the message about the identity as son and daughter, and not also emphasize on the your spiritually gifting, but it is at the end of the day about relationship, about family, about being his child. So that's just amazing. So I want to finish this with, if people want to connect with the two of you or your ministry, what are some things that you offer and do to help people?
Yeah, we mainly supply flags for people who want a flag. So you can always find us on our website at calltoflag.com. Or our main ministry would be Facebook and YouTube right now, because we could reach the masses a lot faster. And if people want to see how we worship, we're always posting something on Facebook or YouTube.
Yeah. And we have some of the teaching. If you want to learn how to flag, but you have no idea, we have some very basic movement, like basic teaching. That it's not, it's not religion, it's not what you're supposed to do, but it's just a way of helping people get confident in their movement. So we have lots of teachings too.
Yeah, we have technique videos on our website, and we don't charge anything for it. So.
Yeah, and then you can join us. Usually we have Tuesday practice too, at Tuesday night in our time. Tuesday night in our time. Yeah, and then then you can watch us doing worship live, which is, simply invite people to join our practice night, because, that's the time you already see us. It's us. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what we can do for a community. But the best thing to do if you're a flagger, just ask God for a community.
Mhm.
Facebook helps, but it doesn't count.
Yeah.
I love that. Thank you so much for your time. I love the two of you, your heart, that you're so genuine, and I feel you just give, freedom in just sharing your testimony and encouragement to others. So thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you.